If you're like me, you're always looking for really easy meals to whip up in a flash. That's what we're going to do today. So please join me for my easy, breezy, and jazzy 5-ingredient recipes.
Jazzy, you're gonna be healthy with the Jazzy vegetarian. Jazzy, so snazzy. We're gonna cook something healthy and light. Jazzy, so snazzy.
So join me in the kitchen right now.
We're gonna cook something healthy and light. That's right.
All of the recipes on today's show are quick to prepare because they require only 5 ingredients or less, and I really like that. But we're not going to skimp on good taste. I'm going to start with my absolutely fabulous, easy black bean casserole, served with a crunchy carrot and maple walnut salad. Now for starters, tantalizing tortilla oven baked mushrooms take the stage. Now, do you need a quick dessert or snack? I know I do. So my no-cook peanut butter cookies really fill the bill there for your sweet bite. All on today's show. So let's get cooking. Now, how many times do you get home from work and you really feel like you want something really fresh to eat, but you don't feel like cooking? I came up with this one night when I really didn't feel like cooking. So I went into my pantry, and this is what I came up with. Now, just a little jazzy tip. I always keep all kinds of canned beans in my cupboard. Black beans, pinto beans, kidney beans, white beans, because you can just take them out and whip up something in a flash. And they're fabulous in this 5-ingredient recipe today. Yes, that's what we're focusing on. So that's a little jazzy tip. Another thing that I like to keep in my cupboard is a vegan marinara sauce. Now, there's so many different kinds of vegan marinara that you can find in your supermarket. Pick up a couple of jars, find what you like, keep it in your cupboard because that really helps for making quick meals that you and your family are going to love. I'm going to start off with one nice sweet onion. This is a big onion, so I'm probably only going to use about 3/4 of it. I'm just going to dice it up. Meanwhile, I've preheated my oven to 375. We're just going to give a quick dice on this. Actually, just a rough chop. So on this particular night, I had a sweet onion. I didn't have that many ingredients available. And I thought, this onion is just going to infuse these black beans with a nice little bit of jazzy flavor. Now, these are organic black beans, and I've taken 2 cans, about 15 ounces each of organic black beans. I've drained them, I've rinsed them. Voila, here they are. I'm just going to dump them into my bowl. And then I'm making use of my marinara sauce. And this is going to add the moisture to my casserole. I'm going to start off with 1 cup. But as I cook this and bake this in the oven, I'm going to check it about halfway through. And then if I need more moisture, I'm just going to add more marinara. Simple as that. Now, this is a low-fat recipe. But you'll see that this really has some really great taste with these 5 ingredients. It's looking pretty good. Now, for a little bit of jazzy taste, I'm using a half a teaspoon of garlic powder. And then about 2 tablespoons of organic maple syrup. Yeah, a little bit more maybe. Make it Jazzelicious. That is the whole thing. That's it. And then get a pretty casserole dish. Then just place your mixture right in the bowl. So easy. You're going to give it a good cover. We're going to put it in our oven for about 50 minutes. And that is it. Next up, my crunchy carrot and maple walnut salad. Good. 5 ingredients, of course, so stick around for that. Now for my fantastic carrot and maple walnut salad. It's so crunchy, it's so delicious, and of course it's only 5 ingredients. I came up with this one day when I really wanted some salad, but I didn't feel like a green salad, and I had a whole bunch of carrots in my refrigerator. So this salad was born. And of course, we're going to use carrots. I'm going to grate up a couple more of those. And I've got yummy maple syrup, some fabulous raisins. I always keep raisins around. They're great to snack on, and they're also really fantastic to use in so many different recipes. And some chopped walnuts. I like to buy the walnut pieces that are already chopped up. Now, when I grate my carrots, I actually grate them the old-fashioned way with a box grater. I think it's good to get a little bit of exercise in the kitchen. If you have another way you like to do this, please feel free. I'm going to be using about 1 1/4 cups of grated carrots in this recipe. A little more, a little less. You're probably not going to make a big mess like I did. So we're starting off with 1 1/4 cups of grated carrots, and then a 1/2 cup of chopped walnuts. Now, if you don't like walnuts, you don't have them on hand, you can also use sunflower seeds. And of course, if you don't like nuts, leave them out. It's still a fabulous salad. And then we're going to put in 1/3 cup of raisins, 2 tablespoons of organic maple syrup, a little bit of sea salt, about a 1/4 teaspoon. Makes it absolutely delish. Look at that. See, that maple syrup is coating those carrots along with a little bit of the sea salt. And what I usually do is I usually chill it in the bowl. And that makes a really beautiful looking carrot and maple walnut salad. I'm just going to get a little cover to put on the top of this. No need for plastic wrap. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator for about 2 hours to crisp up and to marry the flavors together. Next up, my tantalizing oven-baked mushrooms. Stick around for that.
Tantalizing tortilla-baked mushrooms.
Ah, yes, you know why I'm so excited, because these mushrooms taste like they're fried, but they're not. They're really fantastic. And I came up with this when I had a whole bunch of mushrooms in my refrigerator, and it was a little bit before dinner, and my husband was hungry. Now, let me tell you this. You've heard about my husband before, and one thing is when he's hungry, he's hungry. So I said, let me do something that's just fabulous and that he's going to love. And of course, we're going to start with mushrooms. And what I've done is I've just stemmed some baby Bella or cremini mushrooms. You can also use white button mushrooms with this. That would be fine and dandy. And there's the stem. We're just going to snap that stem right out of there. And that's the whole deal. Because we want to keep these whole. Now I've got my oven set at 375. Now, we're going to dip the mushrooms. Now, what we're going to use instead of an egg for this, we're going to use some vegan mayonnaise. And by the way, if you can't find vegan mayo, you can use vegan yogurt. Of course, don't use a flavored yogurt. Just use a plain rice or a soy or an almond yogurt. Even coconut yogurt would work just fine and dandy with this. So we're going to take about 4 tablespoons of this vegan mayonnaise. Maybe a little bit more, because I've got quite a few. I've got 16 ounces. That's 2 packages of the cremini mushrooms. Let me just set that aside. Okie dokie. So now I know you're saying, how is she going to make those crispy? She's not going to fry them. What is she going to do? Well, that's what I asked myself when I was making these for the first time. And I looked in the cupboard, and there I had it. I had blue tortilla chips. You can use any tortilla chips you want with this. And I'm going to make my breading out of this. All I'm going to do is take, about 4 cups of these tortilla chips. And a little bit more for good measure. Excellent. And then we want a little taste. Make it tantalizing. Just about 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. This just adds a nice little pop to this recipe. Pop the top on. Nice crumbs. Woo-hoo! Okay, that's about how you want it to look. You want little crispy pieces, and then you just want some of your fine crumbs too. And just kind of toss that all together. Oh yeah, you can see that cayenne pepper. There we go. 5 ingredients, can you believe it? I'm gonna roll up my sleeves, take off my turquoise ring, take off my bracelet, because this is messy business. I'm starting with a large baking sheet, and I've lined that with some unbleached parchment paper. So you just dip them in there, and then just dip them in those fabulous tortilla crumbs. There you go. There is our first mushroom. This is a lot of fun. Now this is something if you wanted to have an appetizer for any kind of a dinner party, whether it's a casual dinner party or an elegant dinner party, this is a great appetizer to have. It's also a great after-school snack. I'm going to finish the rest of these up, and I'm going to get my black bean casserole out of the oven. I'm going to get these into the oven. All right, so let's get our mushrooms into the oven. But first, we're just going to tent them with a little foil, and we're going to put them in the oven about 375, and we're going to let them bake for about 30 minutes. And then at that point, we are going to take this foil off and let them continue to cook, and they're really going to crisp up, and they're going to be oh so good. I can't wait to taste them with the fabulous 5-ingredient or less sauces that I'm going to make in just a minute. So let's get these in the oven now. Jazzy Aoli. I'm actually going to make a couple of sauces here. I'm going to make my spicy dip, and then I'm going to make my Jazzy Aoli, which is really a fancy way of saying flavored mayonnaise. I'm going to roast the garlic along with my mushrooms in the oven, and it's going to get all caramelized, nice and sweet, and then mix it into my mayo, and it's going to be oh so Jazzelicious. So I've got 6 cloves of garlic, and I'm just going to mince up 1 more clove of garlic for you here. We're going to put this garlic with a little bit of olive oil, and then we're just going to throw it in the oven for about 20 minutes, and then we'll put our sauce together. I'm just going to put just a touch of olive oil in this. We don't want to put too much. And actually, I was reading a really interesting article the other day, and it said you should always measure olive oil when you're putting it into something so you don't put too much. I thought that was a really great tip. So I really just want half a teaspoon of olive oil, because that's really all you need. All right. Now we've already got our mushrooms in the oven, so this is just going to sit right alongside of it. Let me just get this in the oven now. Now that's going to bake for about 20 minutes, and then we're going to take it out, let it come to room temperature, and then we can put our Jazzy Aoli together. Right now, I'm going to do that spicy dip. So I'm going to start off with ketchup. I'm actually going to start off with putting just about a 1/4 cup in there, because I'm going to taste it as we go. And then the real kicker here, the thing that makes it a real jazzy dip, is about 1 tablespoon of horseradish. You get this in your refrigerator section. I think this is going to be good. I like this real spicy. Now, if you want it a little less spicy, you just add more ketchup. You get the deal. Now, just what adds a little bit of fabulous zing to this is a little bit of fresh lemon. We're going to be squeezing this lemon for our Jazzy Aoli anyway, so I'm going to just use a tad of it in this spicy dip. Now, lemon is something that's really great. Not only does it add a little bit of pizzazz to dishes, it also can take the place of salt, because think about it. When you're adding salt, you're adding taste. You're adding a little bit of zing, and that's also what lemon does. So in this case, I'm not going to use any sea salt in this. The lemon is really going to add it, all the extra taste that we need. All right, so that's good. I love it. About 1/8 teaspoon we're going to start with. We don't want too much lemon because we really don't want it to be like lemon sauce. Yeah, that's going to be perfect. Isn't that beautiful? This is going to be so festive along with our mushrooms. All right, I'm going to put this in the refrigerator, and then we're going to get ready to make our no-bake peanut butter cookies. I bet you're going to be surprised at what I use here. no cooked peanut butter cookies. I bet you're wondering what I'm going to use here. Only 5 ingredients. And basically, I'm going to cheat a little bit. You know, before I was talking about using pre-made ingredients that you could buy at the store. Well, I start off with cookies. I one day had some vegan, just some little plain cookies in my cupboard, and I decided I wanted to make some cookies, but I didn't feel like baking anything. So I said, what if I dress these up a little bit? Now, the way you know that they're vegan is when you go to the supermarket, do what I do. I take my glasses so I can read all that little fine print, make sure there's no eggs, make sure there's no dairy, and I'm sure you'll find something in your supermarket. You can use graham crackers for this. Anything that's kind of crunchy and kind of sweet is going to work just perfect. So today I've got some vanilla snaps that I'm using. I'm going to put them into my blender. We're going to end up with about a cup of these cookie crumbs. I'm just going to make some real quick cookie crumbs. Okay. Now, we don't want to make cookie flour, so just blend it on a very low speed. There we go, that's good. So we're going to start off with this 1 cup of cookie crumbs. And then I have 1/2 cup chopped walnuts. Toss those in. And raisins, 1/3 cup raisins. Give that a toss. Now you're saying, what is she doing? How is she going to make cookies out of this? What's going to hold this all together? All right, I've got a few little tricks up my jazzy sleeve. We're going to put in some crunchy peanut butter to hold this all together. I'm starting off with about 4 tablespoons of this crunchy peanut butter. We might end up using a little bit more. And then here's a little something different today. I'm going to use brown rice syrup to hold this all together. All right, so we're going to put I'm going to start off with 2 tablespoons of this, and we might add 1/3 later on. Let me take my ring off. Just wash my hands, my bracelet, because we're going to get our hands in there. I think I should have called this Messy Hands Show. Recipes that you can make and get really messy hands. Do you see how when I'm taking that in my hand, it's kind of holding together? That's what we want. So this is what we're going to do. I've taken a cookie sheet and I've lined it with some unbleached parchment paper and just want a little scoop here. If you have a little cookie maker like this, it really does help. And that's all you have to do. Just press it in there and then just put it right out on your sheet. Press it into your scoop. Really press it down. Oh, aren't those pretty already? You could use golden raisins with this if you wanted to. You could use cranberries in this. That would be really, really tasty. And if you really wanted to jazz it up a little bit, I recommend some chocolate chips. Yes! Vegan chocolate chips. All right, I'm going to finish up the rest of these. I'm going to put them in the refrigerator, for about an hour or so, or until they have really firmed up. And then I'm going to plate up all my 5-ingredient dishes for you, and I'm going to taste them. Jazzy Aoli. I just love this sauce. Like I said before, it's really just kind of like a glorified mayonnaise dip. As you can see, I have my beautifully baked garlic. That smells so good. And you're just going to mash it up a little bit. You see that garlic's gotten nice and soft now. Now I'm going to add in 1/2 cup of this vegan mayonnaise. As I said earlier, if you can't find vegan mayonnaise, you can certainly use a vegan yogurt for this. Just get the unsweetened variety. So that's a little jazzy tip. Works just great. And I'm going to add just a little bit of that fresh lemon juice that we squeezed. I'm going to start off with about 1/2 tablespoon. Let me whisk that together. I'm going to add a little bit of sea salt too. There we go. This is going to make it the 5th ingredient. Oh, maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon. That's all you need. And there it is, my Jazzelicious Aoli. All right, let me taste all these fabulous dishes for you now. Here is my delicious 5-ingredient recipe array. It smells so good. And I've had my eye on these tantalizing oven-roasted mushrooms with the tortilla breading on them. Oh, they're just so good. And I've plated myself up a nice little plate. Oh boy, just can't wait. Put a little bit of that spicy dipping sauce on there. That is fantastic. The tortilla chips got so crispy, it almost feels like they're fried. And that mushroom is just so tender. And that spicy sauce over the top, it's absolutely delicious. So let me just set that aside. Let's try our main dish, which is the easiest black bean casserole you will ever make. You see how it's just nice and juicy? Let me give this a taste for you. Wow. Oh my gosh. That marinara just gives it a little tiny bit of a kind of an Italian flair. And along with that maple syrup that's in there, gives it a little bit of sweetness. And those onions have almost caramelized around those beans. And it really is so tasty. A great, great casserole. Now for my beautiful carrot salad. All right, let me give it a taste. I love this. It's so crunchy, it's so sweet, really, really delicious. And now last but not least, my no-cook peanut butter cookies. Let me make room for them. I've plated myself up a pretty plate, and I just want to show you. Remember how loose they were before? See how firm they are? They come together just beautifully. I'm going to take a little bite. Wow. A little bit of peanut butter, a little bit of that brown rice syrup, those walnuts. This is really, really delicious. Wow. I just had to take one more bite. I'd like to thank you so much for joining me today. And the next time you're looking to whip up a meal in a flash, I hope you'll try some of my 5-ingredient recipes. So until next time, be happy, be healthy, and be well. From the Jazzy Vegetarian.
Visit our website at jazzyvegetarian.com to connect with Laura, see videos, find your favorite recipes, and more. Follow Laura on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Laura Theodore's Jazzy Vegetarian Classics features recipes from this series, and it's available for $26.95. Jazzy Vegetarian, a collection of favorite recipes, is available for $24.95. A set of both cookbooks is available for $44.95. For information or to order, visit jazzyvegetarian.com.
Organic love, 100% natural. Yes, it is now. Organic love. I've got no additives or no preservatives. It's real intuitive. It's downright primitive. Organic love is 100% natural. Yes, it is now.